doesn't know what day it is. Usually, I lost it, and I tried calling their number, which was in the phone book, and it was a fax number, and I couldn't understand why I was getting this funny, that wasn't a busy signal, it was a zzz, zzz, and because I wanted to tell her, yes, I want it, and when she didn't hear from me, she gave it to a school. So I could have had a good Baldwin upright if Betty, who was, you see this picture here of the little kitten that I'm holding?
No, I can't see it.
That's just one of about 30 kittens that she had, and they all died. And she was just, it was like nothing. I said, where is that other cute little kitten that always came to me when, he died. And the place, you wouldn't believe how bad it smelled. If Zibby had ever walked in that place, he would have probably gone out and retched. It's that bad.
I don't like the smell of
And
ammonia
that's
either.
where this character moved to. Snuck out and went back there. I was glad he was gone, but I said he had also written a contract, and I called him, and he paid 1 month, and then he didn't pay March and April. And I told him if he didn't, I was going to call his brothers. I was going to tell his brothers what he had done to me. I said, I'm going to call your office. I'm going to tell, the black people there how you feel about working about. He was a real racist, which is just disgusting. And I really didn't like him. I didn't. Luckily, he just went in his room and he was supposed to take care of it. He had 4 cats in there. He would leave at 8 in the morning, and every night he'd be out with this woman who he worked with, who at a few minutes before that had cursed at him in front of a bunch of people, and then told him never to come to her cubicle again. She said, don't leave me any notes, don't ever call me, or if you do come to my cubicle, I'll call security. And he was like groaning and moaning, and when she needed him, he loaned her loads of money so she could pay her mortgage. He even went to one of those places where you borrow money, but you have to, the interest is like the credit card, enormous. And then he actually went back to her when she wanted money. I actually ended up beating him up. I beat the hell out of him, and he could have had me arrested.
It's probably a good thing he didn't then.
Yeah, but I beat the hell out of him, and because I had it with roommates stealing from me, that even after I outed this Zachary, and the night that he had this guy over here that had given him his car, he gave him this beautiful guitar to use, which had gold. I mean, the guy had money, and he was using the guy, and then when he, obviously, he probably pulled something of that guy, stole something of his, or whatever, because that didn't last, and then he had another guy in the next night, another guy, and, I said, you could be a man and break it off with your fiancée. She doesn't know any of these things about you, and I would never say anything. And said, that's you could be a man and break off that relationship, because I said, you're not an honest guy. You've got some big time problems. I think, but I was nice. I didn't, I said, I think if you got into therapy now, Zach, you could, find out what's going on with you and why you're doing all these things, dishonest things, when you have, in looks he had it all going for him. He was very intelligent. He called up Zach. He said, well, when Zach comes back, let's all have a talk. And I didn't know what it would be about, but I just agreed with him because I thought maybe he discussed some of the things he did or whatever. He called Zach and told Zach that I was holding him hostage with a gun and that he had barricaded himself in his room. And so when Zach got home, when Abe got home, he expected, Zach to be in his room, and Zach came out and sat down at the table, and that's when Abe came and sat at the table, and Abe was another bullshitter. He said to me, do you believe everything I said? And I very calmly said, no, because he was a bullshitter. To get in here, he told me he had $9,000 in the bank, which was a lie. And because he didn't trust anybody for anything, that told me that he couldn't be trusted either. And I told him that once, and he kind of looked at me and said, he said, you've been reading your psychology books. I said, yes, I did. I said I minored in psychology. But anyway,
okay, well,
no, what happened is he got in my, and you never heard the stuff come out of his mouth. He told me his father was a millionaire and broke his jaw when he was 8 years old, which may have been true. He hated his father, and when his father was in the hospital, he told me he hoped he died, and was just such an angry guy. He told me he used to beat up all the kids in the neighborhood. His father was always getting him out of jail. Well, if I had known that about him, he would have never gotten. I really didn't want him to move in, and he was supposed to come over the next night. I don't know why I eventually let him move in, but he was supposed to be here at 1 with his stuff, and he wasn't. And then 2 o'clock came, and I said, okay, we changed these songs someplace else. I left, and then a week later he called and said, Steve, is your place still open? I said, well, you didn't show up last week when you said you were, and I never heard from you again. I said, I've been down in Bloomington staying with a friend, and I'm thinking nobody else wanted to take him either, because I just had a sense that he was a bullshitter, and I was right. But anyway, he just came with me, told me every nasty thing you could ever think of, flew out, hitting in my face. And I just sat there listening to this barrage of, he said, I wish someone would just fuck your ass, and you son of a bitch, and all this nasty came out of it. And so I said, well, I'm going in and call the police. Because I really wondered if he was going to really get violent, because I know that he knew karate, and I knew he was a violent person, because he was going with a girl, and one day she broke it off with him, and he said, I'm going to ruin her. And he went out of the door and started, I'm going to ruin her. She'll never, he was just a real difficult guy. But he was funny, too. We really did get along, because he had a real good, funny sense of humor. The way he talked about himself, he came up to these great Indian terms that he said the smell of curry, I can't remember, it smelled like